right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all so much for being here and welcome to our first general body meeting of the fall semester. We're so excited to have you here so you can learn more about PLHS and any upcoming events we have. We are recording this GBM, so if you don't want to be on camera, you can turn your camera off. But otherwise, we would love to have you guys keep your cameras on just so you can have respect for our speaker. Thank you. So this is the executive board for 2023 to 2024. My name is Peyton Davis. I am the president this year. I'm super excited to be in this position. I've been involved in Pre-Legal Honor Society for the last 3 years since my freshman year, and I just love this organization. I'm a senior this year, and I'm currently in the process of applying to law school. So if anyone has any questions for me, feel free to reach out. My information is there.
Hi, I'm Sydney Perkins. I am the vice president. I am so excited to have this role this year. We have a lot of great speakers coming up. I am also in the process of applying to law schools. Last year, I did everything with the LSAT. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And yeah, that's my information.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michaela. I'm the treasurer and I'm a junior this year. I'm here if you guys have any questions. I'm happy to help, and I can't wait to meet everyone.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm getting over a cold. My name is Alyssa Tepford. I am the secretary for the 2023-2024 school year, and I am so excited about everything. I am a senior as well. I just took the LSAT, so if you have any questions about that, please let me know, and I'm so excited.
Okay, so if you're new here or a returning member, here is what is included in membership. We get a really great Test Masters discount for taking the LSAT. It's $400 for in-person, $400 for the live online, and $200 for the asynchronous course. Their courses are really great. I took the in-person one this summer, so if anyone has a specific question about that, feel free to reach out to me. And we have a form pinned on Facebook where you just put your graduation year and your email and stuff like that, and then I will contact you once you have been added to the list. And we also have one Test Master scholarship for the most active member in the semester. So those are released at the end of fall and spring, and that's a really exciting opportunity and incentive for you to go to our events and get lots of points. And we also have a mock LSAT and seminar coming up with Test Masters. It's on October 14th. Someone's going to send the link to sign up in the chat. You just have to register for it with our code, and then you take it between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. on the 14th. And they're going to have a review of the test as well on that Monday. So if you're interested in taking the LSAT soon or just want to see what it's all about, I really recommend it. It's free, so go ahead and take advantage of that.
All right. So other benefits that are included in your membership are the different networking opportunities that are available with our speakers and members. You receive advice on applying to law school, which I know many of you are in the process of doing right now. You get access to internship and involvement opportunities. With these, we send out opportunities in the group meet and encourage others to share any other opportunities that could be useful for everyone. If you are graduating, graduation cords are included in your membership. So please email me for a graduation cord or send a message through GroupMe or to my phone number. Finally, dues include all activities throughout the semester. Members can take advantage of the several events each month, and you will hear about those soon. All right, so how do you become a member? You must pay your dues by October 10th, which is our third GBM. New members pay $35, and each semester after that, members pay only $20. If you are a returning member and you were inactive for the semester prior, you will have to pay $25. All payments are to be made through Venmo at UF PLHS 2023-24. If you have any questions about that, feel free to contact me. The second requirement is earning the required points to be considered an active member. You earn points by attending our events. Directors need to earn at least 60 points, and the members need to earn at least 45 points. Each event is worth a different amount of points, and Alyssa will go over the breakdown of that.
So speaking of points, here is our point breakdown. As Michaela just mentioned, general members need 45 points to remain active for the semester. So that the breakdown would be for GBMs, you get 5 points when we send out attendance. In-person director events are 4 points. Zoom events are 2 points. Special events are 5 points, and we'll have those. Those are like the retreat and the banquets and stuff. And then it's not on here, but tabling is 3 points. And then the point spreadsheet can be found on the Facebook. If you have any questions about that, I try to update it as often as possible. So you can either email me, or my phone number is on the website. It was also on the previous slide. If you have any questions about like where your points are, or what's going on with that, I'm more than happy to answer any questions. And then please check the calendar. It would be, you'd be all the loves of my life if you would do this. The easiest way to make sure that you guys know what everything is, when events are, when any meetings are, practices, anything like that, is through the calendar. So what you're going to want to do, if you don't have the calendar added already, is when you go on your Google Calendar, at the bottom on the left side, there's going to be a little thing where it says other calendars, and there's a little plus sign, and you're going to press like subscribe to new calendar. If anyone needs any help with this, you can text me and I will walk you through it. And you just put in that email at the top, ufprelegal@gmail.com, and all of the stuff, as soon as I get it, as soon as the information's in there, will be on there, and you can see when all of the events for every director, every type of thing is happening, when our GBMs are, anything like that. So yeah, so you can just be the most tuned in and updated as possible.
Okay, so this is our general body meeting schedule for fall. Unfortunately, our first original one had to be canceled due to the hurricane, but we are rescheduling that for spring, so that's exciting. Today, obviously, we have our GBM with Brian Bieber, which I am very excited about. And then after this one, our next one is September 27th on Wednesday. So look out for that. And then, as always, here's the link to our GroupMe, social media. Everything you could need to know about us is in our GroupMe. So just join by scanning the barcode if you don't have that already. Our Instagram at UFPLHS. And now, excitingly, we have an email, not email, a website, ufplhs.com. So literally everything you could possibly need to know about anything can be found through the GroupMe website and Instagram.
All right, time for director announcements, community service.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan McCulley, and I'm one of the co-directors for community service. We have a lot of exciting events. We actually are in progress of having our first event this week. We had it Monday and today, and we're having it tomorrow as well. We wanted to make it 3 days long, just so, especially after this GBM, everyone knows about it and can still contribute if they like. It's a really easy first point just to get a start to the semester. It's a Tools for Schools fundraiser. Basically, the organization that we're partnering with, is their main goal is to help communities and people below the poverty line, and help teachers in our community just not have to spend money out of their pocket to buy school supplies for children who may not have the opportunity to buy those things for themselves. So it's from 12 to 4 tomorrow. You can stop by Marston, the ground floor. Me or Grace, the other community service director, will be there, and you can drop off school supplies. It's 2 points for 2 items and 3 points for 3 items. You can find the link to an Amazon wish list that they provided me with that has some items that they are looking for. Even if you donate a backpack or anything that you have that's used or gently used or new, whatever you like, would be really helpful. And it would be great if you all could come out after this meeting And then here's Grace.
Hey, hi guys. I'm Grace Mercurio. I'm co-director with Megan for community service. I know with our busy schedules, it could be hard to make time to seek out volunteer opportunities. So Megan and I are really excited to be able to bring these events to you. So our second event is going to be this Sunday, the 17th from 10 to 12 at the Ronald McDonald House of North Central Florida. So for those of you that might not know much about that organization, they provide housing for families that have children at Shands Hospital. It's a really great organization. We have volunteered with them in the past. Last year we went and we helped just clean out their pantry and organize their pantry for them. You know, every little thing counts. So this event was announced in the group meet this morning. So now there's only about 7 spots left. So you guys make sure to sign up. I'm going to drop the Google form in the chat as well as a carpool spreadsheet to sign up to drive other members or look for a ride. So if you attend this Sunday, you're going to earn 4 points, but if you're able to drive other members, you will get 5 points. And now to diversity.
Hi, I'm Maria Hernandez-Rea. Our first diversity event of the semester will be Thursday from 4:30 to 6 at Plaza. We're going to be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month while we paint, and we're going to learn more about Hispanic figures. And only 10 people will be allowed to sign up, and I'll release the signups right now in the Zoom chat. And now we'll move on to Kirby.
Hi everyone, I'm Kirby. Our second event of the month is also in person. It'll be at the Rights. It's on the 25th from 5 to 6 p.m. It'll be it's an international He for She Day, gender equality bingo. So we're gonna learn about just gender equality, some legal gender equality issues, stuff like that. So it'll be really fun. We can all get to know each other since it's the first month we're in this. So
Fundraising.
Hi, I'm Drew. I'm one of the fundraising directors for the upcoming year, and our first event is actually 1 week from today. It's going to be headshots. We're partnering with the public relations team. They're going to be from 4:30 to 6 on September 19th, right outside the Gator Globe, and it's going to be $5 just to our Venmo. And then I'm going to let you talk to Colin for our second event.
Hi everyone, how's it going? So for our second event, we are going to have a fundraiser at the new Raising Cane's on University. So super excited about that. It's going to be on September 21st from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. So there will be a little overlap with the mock trial, but should be a big window of time. Please stop by. Thank you.
Internal affairs.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming out to our last meeting. We had breakfast food in Library West. We got relocated because of the rain. My name is Eliza Greenwald. I'm an internal affairs director, and our job is kind of just to plan events for everyone to bond and get to know each other so that this group feels more of a smaller group to you guys instead of a huge community of people. And that way you can have friends to help you out with things and talk about with the meetings and mentors to look up to. So I'll let Raquel talk and introduce our event for the month.
Hi, I'm Raquel. Thank you again for coming out to our first event. I know that was kind of messy with the rain, but hopefully our next one will be a little better. We're having a Build-A-Bear workshop type deal. We'll have little stuffed animals and accessories and certificates that you can name your stuffed animal. It'll be a cute, quick event. It's on the 26th, so we have a little bit of time. It'll be fast. It's from 5 to 6. And it's just a cute way for everyone to kind of get to know each other. We'll probably give out awards for most creative backstories and stuff like that. So just come out, we can make little stories for our bears and get to know everyone.
Intramurals.
Hey guys, my name is Parker Quisling. I'm one of the co-directors for Intramurals. And our first event is going to be this Friday, 1:30 at Southwest, and we're going to play pickleball. It'll be like a kind of tournament style, and it should be a good time. I'll give it to Davis now.
Hey, how's it going, y'all? My name's Davis, and we also have a cornhole tournament for on Friday the 22nd at Flavitt Field from 1:30 to 2:30. We love everyone to come out, and you'll receive 4 points for coming out. So definitely swing by. I'll pass it on to law related right now.
All right, thank you so much. My name is Anthony Esquivel. This past Friday, we had our first event, which was the personal statement resume workshop. Very informative. I'm glad some of you guys can come out. And our next event, if some of you may not know, is our Zoom event with Law. So an admissions officer is going to come out, explain the process, and also help you guys out, answer any questions you may have. And I'll pass it on to my co-director, Gabrielle.
Hey guys, I'm Gabrielle. So we have another super exciting event coming up in October 5th. NYU is actually coming to us at UF, and we will be meeting the admissions officer at the Rights Union. So we're probably going to be sending out an interest form soon just to see who the head count for who wants to come, and you should totally stop by. It'll be a lot of fun.
Mentor mentee.
Sorry.
Mentor
Hello,
mentee.
my name is Mahima, and I'm one of the mentor mentee co-directors. And the mentor mentee program is just so undergraduate students can pair up with students in law school, and it'll help them learn more about the process of applying to law school and building your resume and other things like that. And I'm going to pass it on to Helena.
Hi, I'm Helena Korshets. I'm the other co-director for Mentor Mentee. Thank you guys who came out to our first event, kind of explaining what the program is. I know it was kind of funny because we didn't have a GBM yet, but hopefully everyone who's interested in being linked up with a mentor has contacted me or filled out the form in the group me. If not, it's important that you do that this week if you want to be linked up with a mentor, because our next event is going to be on September 20th at 5:30 p.m. and we're going to be connecting you with mentors and doing a legal case review. You'll get the opportunity to formulate a legal argument with your mentor.
Okay, super sorry. Now mock trial.
Hey guys, my name is Trisha and I'm one of your mock trial directors for this semester. Right now we are doing a learning boot camp where we teach you guys whatever you need to know from mock trial. So we're doing directs, crosses, arguments, stuff like that. So you guys should definitely come out if you want to learn more about it. We're also having trials this week for our competitive team. We have two options. You can either do in-house, where we compete against people in your own PLHS org, or competitive, where we learn to compete with other schools. So if you guys want to do that, definitely either ask me or my co Sam. And yeah, I'll let Sam take it from there.
So right now we're working on finishing up our pairings for our in-house mentor mentee area so that we can have some of the newer members get some help from returning members, and you can have a bit of a better bonding experience that way. We also just got confirmation for our tournament with PAD, and we have a packet for that. So it's going to be a criminal case. So that's a little exciting. More details to come at the next few meetings. But yeah, I think that's it.
Public relations.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brianna Gallo. I'm one of the co-directors for public relations. So our first announcement, we're going to be continuing to table all the way up until our third GBM. So any directors who are interested in earning 3 points per hour, definitely feel free to sign up. Right now, the one tabling date that we do have set in stone is going to be on Friday the 22nd. From 1 to 3 in the rights, and then we will be also adding on a Turlington tabling day and probably another few between now and our third GBM. So definitely keep a lookout for that. It's an easy way to earn points. All you have to do is be there for an hour to earn 3 points and talk about PLHS. So now I'm going to turn it over to my other co-director to talk a little bit more about PR.
Hi, I'm Peyton. I'm the other PR director. And yeah, please just remember to follow us on Instagram at UFPLHS. And our Facebook is UF Pre-Legal Honor Society. And that's where a lot of the information is going to be. And just feel free to DM us on there if you have any questions about anything. And also, whenever you're at an event for PLHS, please make sure to send in pictures to the Instagram.
Special events.
Hi, I'm Maya. I'm a co-director for special events this year. We're so excited for the year and for our first upcoming event, which is the retreat. It is on Sunday from 3 to 5 at Depot Park. We're going to send out carpool forms and interest forms sometime this week. And yeah, we're so excited to see everyone there. And that's it from us.
Okay, I am very excited to announce our guest speaker, Brian Bieber. He is a shareholder at Gray Robinson in Miami, Florida. For nearly 3 decades, he has defended clients in criminal and white-collar cases throughout state and federal jurisdictions. His clientele is both diverse, high-profile, and extremely confidential, consisting of prominent athletes, actors, entertainers, recording artists, high-ranking elected officials, government employees, and just ordinary citizens. In addition to these individuals, he has also represented publicly traded and privately held small, mid-sized, and multi-million-dollar corporations as well. His skills are not limited to the United States. He has represented clients across the globe in Belgium, the US and British Virgin Islands, Colombia, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, England, France, Germany, Guatemala, Honduras, Italy, Iran. Yeah, the list is still going on. You get the point. He defends clients against allegations of a wide variety of criminal activity, while also successfully producing skillful resolutions, managing seismic reputational fallout, and intercepting disruptive media scrutiny, particularly in high-profile cases. Bieber has also served as a member of the board of directors for the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers and is a current vice president of the American Board of Criminal Lawyers. So if we could all welcome Brian Bieber, and welcome.
Well, all right. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Sid. Thank you for that introduction. I'm listening to that and I'm like, wow, holy shit, that sounds good.
It does sound good.
All right. Well, that is me. And while that sounds, real and impressive and all that, and perhaps it is, I want to talk to you all about what it's like to be a criminal defense lawyer, how I got here. Just put any questions in the chat that you want to ask me, and I'll look over. Let's see.
If anyone wants to send questions in the chat, you can do that. You can also put your hand up on Zoom and I can call on you, whichever you feel more comfortable doing.
Oh, the calling thing is good. When you were saying the hand thing, I started to panic because I'm old and
No, I'll facilitate. Don't worry.
Okay, all right, good.
Yes.
So okay. So I started to say when I give talks like this, when I attend talks, if you take away one thing from this next, however long we're going to be speaking, whatever, about a half hour, if you take away one thing, then this half hour is well worth it. So I hope that I give you more than one thing, more than one takeaway. But so I guess I wanted to start by saying, first of all, thank you. I'm honored. I really am to be asked to speak with you all. And thank you, Sydney. And, I wanted to talk about, I just made a few notes of a few things that I think are really, really important as you all are interested in the legal field. All right. This is the most important thing when you become a lawyer. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's more important than any amount of money you may make or any celeb you may meet or TV appearance or anything like that. The most important thing, and remember this, is your name, your word. Do not do anything that you would not want on the front page of the newspaper, although today there aren't really newspapers, but you know what I mean. Don't do anything that you wouldn't want trending. Your ethics are the most important thing. And I guarantee you that if you become a lawyer, you're going to be presented with certain situations, whether it's a client asking you to do something. And sure, you're not going to break the rules. You're not going to do anything stupid. You're not going to be, if you're a criminal defense lawyer representing someone accused of, cocaine trafficking, you're not going to get involved in a coke deal. But there are situations as lawyers, and we're all presented with them. And if that's one thing you take away from this, if that gets ingrained in your mind, I will feel great. Just make the honest choice. And another note that I made, I get asked a lot by young lawyers about the work-life balance. By the way, I don't think work-life balance was even a freaking term until 6, 7 years ago. I never heard of it. And I live it. So to address this work-life balance that everybody wants, here's my take on it. All right. Yeah, it's great to think like that and to have that vision. Wow, the sun is coming in here in my house and I just got blinded by it. I'm going to turn a little bit. Whatever. All right. I'm not good looking anyway, so, this is not going to make it that much worse. So the work-life balance, throw it out the window in the beginning of your career, because if you want to be successful in law, in anything, if you change your focus, you have to bust your ass. And I know you hear it, and I know it's kind of cliche, but it's really true that your first few years of your practice in whatever you do, it's honing your skills and honing your craft and not thinking about how many hours I'm working, not thinking about that work-life balance, though you have to have your sanity, and that's what makes you and will make you great at the work that you do. So yes, it's having that balance, but worry about that work-life balance when you're in your 30s and 40s. Your 20s, and I say this to my associates, your 20s are trying to steal all the knowledge you can from the people that you're working with. And if you can get a mentor, and I think I counted 3 times during the announcements that the word mentor was mentioned. And I got to tell you, if you're lucky enough to find that mentor, I got my job. I went to University of Miami Law School. I went to Rutgers undergrad, and not quite as smart as you all UF people. And so I go to University of Miami Law School, and I did fine my first year. And I went to the placement office at the end of first summer, and I looked up on the job postings, and there was this criminal defense lawyer who had a posting for a law clerk. I didn't have great grades my first year of law school. I mean, they were fine. So I put on the only suit that I had, and I went to his office with my resume in my hand. This is pre-internet. This is 1993, I guess, 1992, 1993. And you would mail your resume in, then you'd wait for the phone call. So I went to his office, schmoozed with the receptionist a little bit and said, is there any way I can see Joel? And he comes out and he said, you got some nerve just walking in. And, I figured I had nothing to lose. I went in, he interviewed me, and he hired me as his law clerk. I was his law clerk for 2 years and partner. Then he hired me out of school. So I was his associate for 5 years, and then became his partner for about 22 years. And he's 80 now, so he's slowing down now. But he was my mentor, and he loved to say that I took all of his good habits and discarded his bad habits. And finding that mentor is huge, because really you're around them, you pick up what they're doing, you say, I'm going to do it differently. And if you have someone as generous as he was and as generous as I am with my associates, you let the young people steal the case from you. If their heart and soul is into it, the client will see that. Some clients would be happy to go with the younger person. And that's really how I got my start. So the way I got my start was doing just that, working my ass off and getting the attention of some of our clients. And, you know, you don't think about it. And looking back, you know, it's like listening to Sydney read that whole bio. In looking back, I mean, I'm still this, you know, in my mind, I'm still this young kid from Brooklyn who, you know, at 13 years old, my dad lost his employment agency business. So I had to go to work at 13 years old. And I've been working ever since. And while that really sucked back then in the end of middle school and high school, looking back, it built so much character. And so it was a good thing. But so then here I am, and I become a lawyer, and I'm able to kind of steal a few cases away from my boss at the time. And he said, hey, less work for me. So I was able to do that with my first case that hit the newspapers. Was my client had 400,000 pills of ecstasy in his bedroom closet. And at that time, it was the largest seizure of ecstasy. Wait, did everybody perk up when I mentioned ecstasy? And now I see everybody. So he has 400,000 pills of ecstasy in his bedroom closet. And he comes to our office, and he was actually one of the maintenance men in our office building. So he didn't have much money. So my boss said, well, Brian, you handle it. So had a little bit of money. His family put the money together. And I get the facts from him, and I'm not going to bore you with the facts, but from what I learned in law school, my few years of practice, it didn't sound like the DEA agents who came to his door and threatened him and threatened, you know, jail and deportation and all that stuff. And they did not have that one piece of paper they needed, the warrant. It seemed to me, well, file a motion to suppress. So I filed this motion to suppress. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm in federal court. It's my first major hearing. And the DEA agent was such a jerk. And at that moment, I'll never forget it. You know, I'm this nervous, scared little chicken, right? I'm, you know, practicing law a few years, but it was the human side of what was going on. And he was such a jerk. And I just stumbled upon, I asked him a question, and everyone in the courtroom knew he was so full of shit. And that was it. And I forgot, I didn't even look down at my notes anymore. And again, I'll never forget it. And I started to walk towards him, and I had a conversation with him. And I guess that's how I really learned how to cross-examine a witness. And I had this conversation, and to make a long story short, the judge took it under advisement, issued a ruling suppressing all the evidence, and the government dismissed the case. So that's the equivalent locally of something going, you know, viral when our phones, you know, blow up with the news thing. The next day in the Miami Herald, the front page, I'm sorry, not the front page of the local section had this whole article on it. So what did I do? I didn't have to be in court the next day. This is in full disclosure, in full, I don't know, insecurity disclosure. I didn't have to go to the office. I didn't have to go to court, but instead of going to right to the office, I said, F that, I'm going to court. I went to court, and I walked around as if I had to be there so that people would see me. And I'm like, all right, this is great. And that was it. And then I was off and running. And I was fortunate enough to then get a few high-profile cases. The Miami Dolphins, Jason Taylor, his stepfather had pulled a gun on him here in South Florida. So the stepfather came to my boss at the time, and I was able to worm that case away. And that was my first TV case where, the news cameras were there. And I was fortunate enough to get a not guilty in that case. And that was really it. Once people think you know what you're doing, whether you do or you don't, that's a huge part of this, to get out there and to start to develop the career. And then you really have to have the goods. And, Sid mentioned that I'm currently a vice president of an organization, American Board of Criminal Lawyers, and I sat on the board of directors of National Criminal Defense Lawyers, National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. This group that you all are part of is very important, believe it or not. It's the people that you get to know. It's the connections that you make. And again, you have to have the goods. Those connections only go so far, but the connections are important because that's how people get to know you. And they get to know you, you open your mouth. And if you do have something, of substance to say, they're going to know, and they're going to see it, and they're going to hear it, and they're going to feel it. So, so that was how I got started, and I was fortunate enough to then hit like my mid 30s, late 30s, and 40s. And again, word spreads, word of mouth. In this field, I keep coming back to the hard work. If you work your ass off, the judges get to, they get to see it. And believe it or not, they start talking. And here you are, you're this young lawyer, not thinking about anything except paying your bills, trying to make more money, trying to get a raise every December. And judges start talking about you. And, another cliche, we hear this, preparation. That is the key. I mean, when judges see you prepared, when your clients see you prepared, when other lawyers in the courtroom see you prepared, and that goes to what you guys are doing in college too. You stand out from everybody. So these are just life lessons. And I want to know, has anybody posted? Does anybody have a question before I go on to a couple of other things that I had written down? All right, I got one here. Let me take a sip of water. And the question is, how do you balance your personal ethics in work when defending people accused of crimes? Also, my mom went to Rutgers too. All right, are you? So it's a great question. I'm going to answer that, and then I do want to talk about the work-life balance as an adult, just to give you a little bit of that also. But how do you balance your personal ethics in work when defending people accused of crimes? This is a great question, actually. Here's how I balance it, okay? And I say this to clients too, and I'm going to say this to all, how many? 126 participants. I love it on this Zoom. You ready? Here's how I balance it. I don't give a shit. I don't care what you did. I don't care why you did it. I don't care how you did it. And that may sound coarse. You may say, wait, is this guy a jerk? Is he cold? I can't help it. This is what I can't help not passing judgment on what people do. Whether it's because you all are full of it, if you say that you haven't made a mistake, you haven't regretted something, even in your young life, something you want to take back. We all make mistakes. We all F up, and it happens sometimes real serious. Now, of course, that's different than a serial murderer or something like that. But here's how you balance your ethics. I have one job to do, and that is to effectively represent my client. I choose to do it ethically. So the ethical balance to me it really just comes natural. For instance, if someone says to me, I did this and I can't wait to get to trial, because when I testify, I'm going to testify that I didn't, and there's no way they could prove it. And I would say, bye-bye, go get yourself another lawyer, take your money back. This was like pushing cash. That's the old days, pushing cash off the desk. Now everything is check or wire. But I did declare every penny of cash whenever I would get it, because you never want to cut corners. So the ethics part for me is never, ever an issue. You know, people come to you, and really think about it for a minute. The system, it's not a perfect system, but it is a great legal system, because even if the facts look so bad, okay, the prosecutor has that heavy burden of proof. They have to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. And in most cases, when the facts are that bad, the prosecutor satisfies that heavy burden. And if we don't have criminal defense lawyers, then let's see, DEA agents can just go into your home and search your bedroom closet, whether you have drugs there or not. That ain't going to feel too good. If you guys go home tonight to your apartments, or you're in, you know, this is on Zoom, so you're in your apartment, think about that. You have to have rules, and you have to have criminal defense lawyers to test those rules and to make sure those rules are enforced. And I got to tell you guys, usually the right result happens, okay? The people who do the really bad things, they usually don't get away with it. Now, I've had some, you know, I'm proud to say I've had some, you know, remarkable not guilty verdicts where the facts were really, really bad. And that was just, you know, the prosecutor couldn't prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. So, you know, I don't know, there's some saying, better one innocent man, whatever it is, you know, 100 guilty people go to jail, one innocent, you know, whatever that saying is. You got to have that one innocent person. You got to have a system set up so that the one innocent person never gets convicted. And there are innocent people sitting in prison, and we see that with the Innocence Project. You have people from underprivileged backgrounds from the 1960s and 70s who've done, you know, 30, 40 years in prison, because you got some racist asshole cops who figured young black kids, well, if they didn't do that then, you know, then they would do something in the future. And that's why you need criminal defense lawyers. That's why it, and how it's easy for me to balance my ethics. So I love questions. I love these questions. Okay. So what achievement are you most proud of? My family, to be brutally honest. I'm not just saying it, my wife and my kids, and that's what I am most proud of. I was able to, yeah, you know, Sid read the bio. It's all true. Okay. So I've been able to reach a certain level of success, whatever that means. But to me, success is you put your pillow on the head, you put your head on the pillow at night. Are you happy? Are you really happy? Like really happy? That's the level of success. It is. It's not money. It's not fame. And it's not that. But so that's the honest answer. Now, I don't think that was the intent of the question. I think the intent was, what achievement are you most proud of? Maybe it was, but case-wise, I got to tell you, my most recent one that I'm really, really proud of was helping Bob Saget's family in this recent legal battle. Bob Saget was this famous comedian. Most of you know him, I'm sure. And my allergies are terrible. That's why I keep drinking water. So the Saget family called me. And again, this is just a product of working your ass off. And they're out in LA And I get a call from a lawyer who said, hypothetically, Brian, a famous comedian hypothetically just died at the Ritz-Carlton in Orlando, and they need a lawyer in Florida now. And I said, oh shit, this is Saget. This is a call. This is a good one. So the lawyer puts me in touch with his widow, Kelly Rizzo, and their two daughters. And it turns out the Orlando County Sheriff's Office, all the media, all over the world, wants the photos of Bob Saget in the hotel room, dead, and what the photos and videos that the police took at the Ritz. So the family calls me and says, what planet are we on that the sheriff said, I have to release everything? And I said, you're not on another planet. You're in the state of Florida. And we have very liberal public records laws. And they said, this can't be. And I went over the statute with them. And they said, so what are we going to do? I said, we're going to sue the sheriff's office. And I called the sheriff's office and I get the sheriff on the phone. And I said, I haven't yet, but I'm going to sue you so that those photos are not subject to public records. And he was a really decent mensch and said, bring it on, sue me. I'm going to hold all the evidence here until I get that lawsuit. I filed the lawsuit. The judge was a really decent guy too. And they were doing Zoom then. So we're on Zoom, and me and the Saget family. And the short version is I came up with this common sense plan. And that was, if there's no contraband in the hotel room, then the public records laws are outweighed by the privacy laws of the family. Something that made sense to me. We did some research. We found some case law where it could be in our favor. I filed the lawsuit. I filed the motions. And I said, you know what? I have a better idea. I'm going to put my name and my reputation on the line. And I filed a motion and I said to the judge, I will go to the police station. I will look at the evidence, not with any media. I'll look at all the photos. I'll inspect everything that was in the room. And if there's no drugs, no contraband, then his privacy rights should trump the situation. The judge agreed with me. I looked at everything. I put my name on the line, and the judge essentially granted our request for an injunction. We won the lawsuit. So yeah, I am damn proud of that. It's not quite a criminal case, but it was the right result. And frankly, I don't think many, and there's nothing, I'm not saying anything against civil lawyers, because civil lawyers, it's a great profession if that's your passion. I don't think many civil lawyers in that field could have gotten that result, because that came from outside the box thinking and a lot of creative thinking that criminal defense lawyers have to do. Not that civil lawyers don't have to do that. I have many friends who practice in either personal injury, commercial litigation. And what I say to you all is, whatever your passion is, just go with that, because you'll be the best at it. That goes without saying, but I guarantee you, you will be the happiest when you're 54. That's how old I'll be, 54. When you're 44, I'm sure when you're 64, whatever. If you do what really gets you, look, working for a living sucks, okay? There's no way around that. However, if you really like what you do, or at least you convince yourself that you like what you do, maybe I've convinced myself, I don't know. But if you're passionate about it and you have that as an adult, that balance where, yes, you're spending quality time with your kids and with your significant other, that's how you really get to that high level of success in life, not just in your practice. And it spills over to the practice, because you're able to be creative and you're able to try to be great at what you do. and then have people inflate the hell out of your ego and say, man, you're great, or have Sydney Perkins give you an intro like that or something like that. So next question. Oh, love it. How does your experience in court? Oh, wait. I'm interested in reading about your big break case. What is it called? I guess my first one was probably Jason Taylor's stepfather, Tony Taylor. So if you Google that in the Miami Herald, though I did represent a lawyer who was accused of stealing $3 million from her trust account and sent it to her husband's business, and the jury found her not guilty on every count. And her name was Sally Shaw, S-A-W-H. So that was probably that was definitely a big one too. How does your experience in court change when there are no cameras versus when there are cameras that televise the case? Man, you guys are asking great questions. Well, how does my experience change? Again, that's another, file that in the column of I honestly don't give a shit when the cameras are there, okay? I'm not in this for the fame. I tune it out like I tune out the bad facts of my case, and I deal with it. It does add an element. I'm not going to lie. But for me personally, and that's why I don't mind it, there's no showboating and there's no, this is great, this is going to advance my career. Although when I step out of it, it does. I mean, the more press, it's great for a criminal defense lawyer's career. And some witnesses, they do tailor their testimony and they know they're on TV, and I'll use that in my cross-examination if I see that they're showboating like that. But for me, cameras in the courtroom, it doesn't affect me. Fun fact, the reason why we have cameras in the courtroom is because my mentor went to the United States Supreme Court. I've never argued in the US Supreme Court. I have not been that fortunate. He was fortunate enough to argue there once and lost. And he argued against cameras in the courtroom. The case was out of Florida. It's called Chandler versus Florida. And Joel Hirshhorn is the person I'm talking about. And he actually argued that and lost. And that's why we have cameras in the courtroom. So, okay, another question, how did you decide that the courts is where you want to be? I find that law is so broad, so many options. Oh man, these questions are amazing. And I'm not quite sure how to narrow my aim. All right, you ready? I hated public speaking and still do to an extent. Like this I enjoy actually. By the way, this isn't public speaking. This Zoom shit, you gotta be face to face. I know it's the way of the world, and I would have come up. Sydney, if you would have said, Brian, come up, we're gonna do this in person, I would have come up in person. I think it's way better. But so to answer your question, I never did acting, never did theater or anything like that. And very nervous, public speaking. And in law school, they make you take lit skills. And I took the class, and all of a sudden, I wasn't, whatting in my pants when I was talking. And again, that's what grabbed me. It's wonderful to be, in your early 20s and be open-minded, and in looking back and have a hunger to want to succeed, a fear of failure, all those financial hardships growing up just gave me that drive in looking back. So that was just what I gravitated to. And I'll never forget, I mean, I was making $14.50 an hour as a law clerk in my first job. And you were only supposed to work 20 hours a week, according to the ABA rules. And I was like, F that. I mean, I was all in, and I'm working 40 hours a week, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, I would get a paycheck for like $300 or $400 after taxes, and to me, I was blown away. So I'm like, I'm getting paid, and this is just, and it all flowed that way. So follow what grabs you is my advice, and don't be afraid to change it. You know, I thought, look, I was a Jewish kid from Brooklyn, thinking I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to be a personal injury lawyer. I'm going to hit some big cases. I'm going to have $10 million, $20 million. Then I'm going to coast out. That does not happen. All right. I'm still working and working very hard, but having that balance is important, and certainly not maybe working as hard as I was in the beginning of my career, but maybe probably smarter. And I'm able to take a certain amount of time off. So, all right, let's see. We're getting near the end. What is the craziest case you've had? All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to tell you about two. The first one I'll tell you about real quick. Orlando. There's plenty of press on this. It was in Orlando. My client was a 47-year-old mother. Her daughter was going to college. She became psychotic and knew in her mind that her daughter could not survive in college without her. So she, the mother, called her brother at 5 a.m. and said, she's never going to be able to survive. I went and bought a gun. I'm going to kill her and kill myself. Hangs up the phone, shoots her daughter in the head. 17-year-old daughter, turns the gun on herself, shoots herself in the chest, hits the ground. Next thing she knows, she wakes up in the hospital. Her daughter is dead. She's now charged with first-degree murder. We go to court. I'm representing her. Obviously, the insanity defense, I get her evaluated. And the prosecutor agrees. Maybe she wasn't insane at the time, but there are mental health issues. I get him to agree to a sentence of 20 years in prison to a manslaughter count. She would only serve 17 years and be out in her 60s. We go to court, and she said, Judge, I don't want that. I want the death penalty. And the judge says, they're not seeking the death penalty. She said, I don't care then. Give me life in prison. He said, 20 years, life in prison. I'll give you life in prison. And she's now serving a life sentence. So that was certainly a crazy case. But I have to tell you, since you asked, the craziest case I had was this year. And I went to trial in January in northern Wisconsin. You talk about freezing your ass off. I mean, I don't know, any of you from the Northeast, that is a different kind of cold, January in northern Wisconsin. So I go to trial. I'm representing a retired chemist who's 72 years old, and he was diabetic, and he was charged with kind of like the Kevin Spacey case. He's not a famous person, but it was delayed reporting that 4 young men now say that he touched them inappropriately years ago, 15 years ago. But they gave their story, and in northern Wisconsin, the prosecutor decided to charge him. Okay, so I'm going to skip the 2-week trial and everything we did. It's time for the verdict. The jury is out deliberating. We're waiting. We're on pins and needles. By the way, that's the only time I get nervous in court. The first 30 seconds before I give my opening statement, nervous as hell, heart pounding out of the chest. And then once it goes, I'm off and running. When the jury's deliberating, I am so freaking nervous because it's out of my control. Different kind of nerves, but. So the jury is deliberating. All of a sudden, just like you see on TV, you hear 3 knocks. The jury door opens. The jury files in, 12 people. They hand the judge the verdict form. I'm sitting there. My client is next to me. Now remember, he's diabetic, so he had orange juice on the table and he was sipping his orange juice the whole trial, keep his blood sugar up. Had everything dismissed except 2 counts. Jury says, as to count 1, we find the defendant guilty. He is not a prop, takes his orange juice, takes a sip. Count 2, guilty, takes his orange juice, chugs it, puts it down. Judge thanks the jury. I poll the jury. Everybody says it's their verdict, guilty. Judge is going to address some issues. I look over, my client's starting to like sleep. Gary. The clerk points to the orange juice bottle and says, there's a substance in the bottle. You could see a white cakey substance. The deputies come rushing over. The paramedics come in 2 minutes later. They put him on the ground. They rip his shirt open. Remember, he was a retired chemist. So they take him to the hospital. He's on life support. I see some people with their hands over their mouths. True story. He's on life support. It's Friday night. Saturday, what am I going to do? I'm not a doctor, so I'm going to fly home. I haven't seen, my wife and, well, my daughter was at UF, but I haven't seen my wife and my son in 2 weeks. I'm flying home Saturday. I get a call from the Chief Justice of the Wisconsin Supreme Court, just wanting to make sure everybody's okay. I was like, wow, this is wild. He said he's still on life support. I call his brother on Sunday, my client's brother, and he's crying. And he said, I just left the hospital. They read him last rites and they took him off life support. He then starts to breathe on his own. I call the prosecutor the next day to check up and see how's he doing. The prosecutor said, oh, he's doing fine. They handcuffed him to the bed. He came to, and we just brought him to the county jail. So I would say that is my craziest story. And you know what? I'm doing this now 28 years, and that just happened this year. So who knows what the hell is going to happen in the future? But that was, I would say, my craziest story. So just to quickly answer the other questions, because there's only a few more. In undergrad, was I preparing to go to law school? Yes, I didn't think I was smart enough to be a doctor. Nobody told me I was smart enough. You know what? If you want to, you could do whatever you want. I see some of these doctors now. I'm like, you guys are morons. So I could have been a doctor, but I wanted to be a professional, and law was the next best thing, but it turned out to be pretty good. So I'm happy that I did it. What do I look for in accepting big cases? Oh, come on. That's an easy one. The ability to pay. And let's see, do you know what legal job markets look like now? They're better than they were a few years ago, that's for sure. Are hardworking law school graduates struggling to find work? They may be, but do what I did. Work your ass off in law school, get a job. And I was fortunate enough to only have one job. I mean, it's crazy. So whether you get a job with that person or that law firm or not, work your ass off in law school. Second and third year, work. You'll get a job. Trust me. I don't know anyone who's looking for a job as a young lawyer who is a go-getter. There are no go-getters unemployed that I've seen or heard of. I've seen some of them unemployed, and honestly, they come in and I chat with them and I'm like, yeah, I could see why you're unemployed. I mean, if you want to work your ass off, you're going to be fine. Trust me. Can I describe a case that would have made for a good mock trial? Yeah, that one that I just told you, that would have definitely been a good one. But the one with the football player would have been a good one. Tony Taylor. That would have been that's a great mock trial because it involves the allegedly pulling a gun on an NFL player and a knife and my client, it was the parents, there was a domestic thing. And if I may say so myself, my cross-examination on all the details were that's how I won the case. And then you had all these NFL players in there supporting the victim. So here I am, this, I wasn't balding yet then, and I'm this, lawyer and against all these football players, and it was just, that was great. So that would be a good mock trial one. So anyway, that is it. We went over by a little bit. I'm sorry to keep you over, but I really, really, really hope that this was entertaining, and I hope that it was informative and no bullshit. Look me up, call me, email me. It would be my pleasure to give you advice. And if you're down here in South Florida and you want to come to the office and check it out, and you want to meet my young associates, and just seriously, I'm an open book, and I would love to do something to contribute to any of your successes. I really would. So, all right.
Thank you so
That's
much.
it.
I
You're
could not
very
have asked
welcome.
for a better speaker for the first GBM. You were incredible. I think everyone loved everything you had to say. Attendance was sent in the chat, and that's about it. Thank you again so much. You were amazing, Brian.
All
And
right,
he does
Sydney.
mean it. You guys can reach out to him. He'll be great.
All right. Thanks again, everybody. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.